Hi.
Hello, kia ora, Stephanie. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. How's it going?
Very good, very good. Does everyone call you Stephanie? Steph? What do you want me
Steph.
to?
Steph is good.
Steph. Is Stephanie a little bit formal?
It's quite formal.
Okay, unless you're in trouble from
Yeah, pretty
parents or
much.
something. But awesome. Thank you for coming on board. And yeah, huge thank you to connecting us with Melanie and everyone on part of your team there through Owen. So I think have you met Owen and you guys have done one or two little.
Yeah, yeah. Worked together in one of the plantings, the Whangara school one. So yeah, yeah. He was amazing with the kids and yeah, so inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, he's just such an awesome dude like that, such a
Mm,
grounded, calm sort of dude, and the way he
mm,
explains stuff just makes sense. And I could
yeah,
imagine he'd be absolute magic with the kids. And
yeah.
yeah, me and him have, talked about this idea for a couple of years. So to be able to
Mm,
finally see if we can get some money to get going anyway at some level.
mm,
Thank you for those contacts. One of our main people in our team of Gene Swainson Foundation used to be the chair. I think it's the East End Trust for about 6, 7 years.
okay. Yeah.
So I think he's still got a lot of strong connections there, but he said, oh, they won't help unless there's a Gisborne angle, that's,
Right.
yeah, things. I
Yeah.
said, well, no, I'm sure
Yeah.
they got planters there.
Yeah.
It can go to them. Yes, it'll
Yeah.
come through here and then come over to them.
Mm, mm,
Um,
cool.
and so I'll just set up, uh, I'll link a little bit in a moment. Um, Yeah, some of the things. What do you like to talk about? What's your wheelhouse? Do you know native trees yourself? You've learned a lot over the years, or yes, no?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk
Yeah.
about what you guys have achieved and what something like this? I don't know. I don't want to ask you a question online, and you're like, I'm not. That's not my area.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, background is native trees, ecology. So, but yeah, whatever you want, really. I mean, so are these potential funders coming on this?
No, well, it's live on our Facebook page,
Hmm.
and it's my daily update of where we're up to. So I'll start with that, and then I'll
Hmm.
bring you in, and we'll just chat in general.
Hmm.
What it is, then it's used and reposted and all that. So it becomes a little video that people watch. I don't know if we get
Cool.
many, if any,
Yeah,
on the live of it, but the
yeah,
repost of it
yeah.
becomes the update and all that. And the real goal is to try and build awareness and then get some donations, get some clicking
Cool.
going on.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so I guess talking about trees that count, who we are, what we do, whatever you think is relevant to what you're doing as well. What the
Yeah, probably just that. If what do you guys think about the concept of a game to teach this sort of thing? Do you think it's important? Obviously, I think you will. So really, just keep tying in the two
Mhm,
and how they're related.
mhm.
We hope the next generation becomes part of their life because they played our game for 5 years through school or something, and
Mm,
now they come
mm,
out the other end as
mm,
environmentalist warriors or something,
mm,
because of an amazing game that engaged them,
mm.
and hopefully get them in the real world to think of this stuff. I mean, that is
Yeah.
the genuine truth. Me and Owen hope that the next two generations are impacted, and
Mm,
how else are we going to do it? Their eyes are on gaming all day long on devices.
yeah.
If we're not in front of that, if we're not in that device, they
Yeah.
may not really pick up on this. And
Yeah.
20 years from now, we're
Yeah.
still not doing a good job of. So I
Exactly.
can't see another way to really get cut through in the next generation. And the teachers won't teach a
Mm,
ton of it because it's quite a specialized area and they don't know it. And
mm,
there's not resources from MOE. So those
mm.
are the real long-term realities of what we're hoping.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
totally.
if from your guys' perspective, if you could, like you say, if you talk about Owen and seeing those kids, I imagine there was probably their eyes were big as, and they're coming up heaps of questions.
Yeah.
There's some 8, 9, 10-year-olds, climate warriors, just made right then that day.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, yeah, like the one at Whangara School, some schools are really lucky to have that right there to learn, but many don't. And then it's just planting those seeds, really. So that, like you say, maybe you plant a seed now and then down the track when they have more connection and understanding, then something might happen. Yeah, it's all so important, all that knowledge building. Yeah.
you know, and you know, we can, as we and we'll just chat. But this is good. We'll just chat like this. This is really all I hope. What do you think? And you know, so I'm just figuring out how do I go live. Okay, so gosh, I'm in Zoom here. Post attendee. Why has that come up? So yesterday was sort of my first go live, and I can share different things on screen while you chat, and I might deliberately bring your website up and different things. We even play video without audio. And what I'm trying to get to is the account, and now I want to get to webinar. Here it is here. Live on Facebook. Here we go. Now, I want to make sure I got you guys tagged in this time. To go. Update 1st of September 2020. Hyperlife Kickstarter. Nature game campaign. I'll go at trees. That count. There we go. Now what do I need? The Kickstarter link, which is here. Let's make sure I've got everything in there that we need. 13 days ago. Okay. Title. Tags. Okay. Right on 12:00. Well, kia ora, everyone. Welcome to our Hyperlife live update, our Kickstarter campaign. Today is the 1st of September. We've got 13 days to go. And I'm joined with Steph today from Trees That Count. Kia ora, Steph.
Kia ora.
I'll bring Steph in a moment, and we can have a korero around the work that she does and the organisation that we've partnered with. But I'll just give a quick update on how our progress is going. And so I'll just share my screen to everyone. And so we've got 7 backers, 221. And so it's, 13 days to go at the start. We have a first goal of 60,000. So we've got 59,700 and something to go. So we'll get there. It's a good, nice slow start, but we hope it'll get some momentum as the word gets out there and people find out more about what we're doing. But yes, thank you, Steph, for coming on. So for those who may not have any idea, Trees That Count, what is that?
So we are a program run by Project Crimson. So Project Crimson is a charitable trust that's been around for the last 30 years, carrying out native forest projects across New Zealand, amongst other things. And Trees That Count has been going for the last few years. So we supply funding for native trees. So we have donations coming in from companies and individuals in New Zealand. And so we have an online marketplace where anybody in New Zealand wanting to plant native trees can go in and apply for funding for native trees. So our mission is to plant millions more native trees throughout New Zealand.
Oh, amazing. When I first, I hadn't heard about you guys until about a month ago. And I'm so glad that I did, and I'm so glad you guys existed. Our Gene Swainson Foundation has set up an account, and I can tell everyone out there, when you donate a tree through these guys, the follow-up, the engagement, where you get emails straight away, and then you get to nominate where it's going. You got 12. How many regions can you nominate to potentially plant?
Not sure how many regions. It's right across New Zealand, basically. Yeah, wherever you want to plant, it's likely we'll have a project there that you can connect with. Yeah, that's the wonderful thing about it, is that you know exactly where your money is going, where each tree that you fund is being planted, and then you can read about that project. They all have profiles on our website, and you can read about the project where your tree is going.
Yeah, that was really quite important to me. When we were first talking about this game, and then who do we partner with to help plant trees in the real world, I said, I personally would want to know roughly where it's going. Is there such a place that could tell me? When they said, yeah, then it was Owen and said, yeah, Trees That Count. I went, oh, okay, have a look. So we did our little foundation, bought 10 trees, and within, it was about a week or two, but I know sometimes it can take 3 to 6 months to get placed, but I was lucky. So 9 of my trees went to Tukituki Valley Restoration Project. So I chose Hawke's Bay, which is where we're based. And then 1 tree went to the Illawarra 2020. So like you say, you can click on it and you can see exactly where your cents went. And here's, information about it and everything. So just, yeah, an amazing system. It must have taken quite a while to be able to do all this this is the sort of, I guess, the back end technical side of things, of the reality of actually trying to plant a tree. But
yeah.
Man, and so how many to date? I see on the homepage has got some phenomenal.
Oh, what's our number? Yeah.
31 million.
Yeah, pretty impressive. And then it just shows, and what you were just saying about your 10 trees donated, every little bit counts. It all adds up and enables these enormous numbers of native trees to be planted. And we are carrying out native reforestation through all those small efforts.
And, do we have a problem in New Zealand? We were tourist, we were marketed as the clean green country, and that is, are we in date? Is there a lack? I mean, I drive around, I feel like there's a bit of bush around, there's definitely a bit of farmland, but yeah, what's the reality for New Zealand?
The reality is, unfortunately, many of our native forests are just dying. Our animal pest problems with possums and stoats and rats are absolutely destroying our native animals in those forests. Deforestation, habitat loss for our native species and those native trees, it's in a really dire state, and we need to do everything we can to bring back these native forests and take care of them. It's huge. Yeah.
No. Now that you say that, and now I've been on this, I was and educating myself a bit. And so you mentioned, Owen, there that you guys did a bit of a project together in Whangarā. What was that one about?
So, that's one of the projects that Trees That Counts helped to fund. So it's a wetland area opposite the Whangarā school. So it's been a community project, and it's going to be a community space. and Owen came along and talked to the kids that are helping out to plant all the trees and take care of the trees about animal pest control and why it's so important. And he was just amazing with the kids, you know. They were so engaged, and many learning about this issue for the first time. Yeah, and really struck by how much help our forests and our native animals need to carry on, to have them around for the long term. Yeah, so work together for that project, and yeah, his kids are at the school in the kindy with mine.
Ah, excellent. Yeah, he was saying that some of the wetlands are actually farmland or on farmers' lands, but there's either not much they can do with it, or yeah, what is that side of farmers in their wetland? Are they happy for you guys to come across and plant, or they don't want you guys anywhere near it?
Yeah, it depends on the farmer. In this case, Whangara Farms have done an amazing job fencing off, retiring this wetland from stock. So wetlands are extremely rare ecosystems in New Zealand now, especially in the Gisborne region. So really important that we protect what we've got. They're often really unsuitable for grazing on farms. You'll lose sheep and cows and them getting stuck. Often don't have good grass growing in them, can be a mission for mustering. So can often be a really positive thing to fence them off for the farm, not only for the environment, but also for the farm. Yeah, so awesome that we can do that in this location opposite the school.
Yeah, it seems like there'd be quite a lot of potential areas that work like yourselves could do, and the New Zealand public could get behind and really, you know, imagine how many farmlands and wetlands could do with some planting and what that could achieve in 20, 40 years from now. And so you've sort of seen me and Owen's game idea called Hyperlife, which this whole funding's trying to also fund for that, but also to help plant in the real world. What did you think about the game and the concept when you first heard about it?
Brilliant. I mean, you know, some kids are really lucky to have these locations where they can go and learn about it in real life, but many in schools don't have that possibility. And for kids to learn about what our environment is facing is so important to take that forward into the future, to share that with their own families, to really be able to engage with, you know, our native species, our native trees and animals, and learn what's actually there, how amazing they are, what we can do to help them and protect them. And yeah, to have that on a forum which anybody can access, and through a realm which is familiar and where kids want to be in that gaming world. Yeah, so special and so important.
I mean, me and Owen's dream was that this game creates future, I don't know, climate warriors, environmentalists, I don't know what you call them, tree lovers, in the future. Do you think that such a game like this might help in that way?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think just planting those seeds for kids, even if they, like you say, not now, but in the future, they engage more and really can do more about it. Yeah, that's going to be big. I think about myself growing up. It was only when I was a little bit older that I actually really got into this world. You know, when you're younger, you're just learning and absorbing, but that's it. The future is where these kids are going to be able to actually make a difference, restore what needs to be restored, protect what needs to be protected.
Yeah, well, you know, like yourselves and myself and Owen, we're passionate about the only way to make a big dent in the future is trying to get thousands and millions of the next generation. And I could see I've got 3 young kids, they're on devices. That's where their eyes are. It's where their attention is.
Yeah.
So unless we get into those devices, how do we get this message across? Talking to teachers and that, they'd love to teach more of this sort of stuff, but the resource is not easy to find. It's outside of a lot of their knowledge base. So we're hoping that this game will be able to provide all that infrastructure, that lesson planning, curriculum aligned. We've, got a plan to go through the curriculum, and it brings in a lot of the science areas, the sciences. So it ticks off the curriculum, but also making it easy for the teachers to be able to bring it in. And if we can do that, then I think that's our best shot. But also making it really that you've got an avatar that you can customize, you run around, there's challenges. Hopefully they want to play it at 4 or 5 in the afternoon instead of Fortnite. That's our goal with sort of a lot of the projects we do, is that's who we're taking on. To us, the competition is Fortnite and PlayStation. And one of our goals, and I'll share the screen and actually talk about some of the rewards, the sort of pledges that we have in place over here, because we've named them actually after native trees. And you guys were very helpful to help arrange some of the order of these. And these pledges will aim towards trying to raise, we've got our early amount of money of 60,000 is our minimum goal. And then we have stretch goals after that. And we'd love to, if we can reach one of our end goals, there's a few there. There's the 60,000 is the first goal. And then after that, they go into 120,000, 240,000, 500,000 and 800,000. Now, overseas, they spend millions, and PlayStation spend millions. We're talking tens of millions to make Fortnite and PlayStation games. And that's who we're going up against. Now, we're never going to be able to get millions and millions, but if we could get up to that 800,000, we can make the PlayStation 5 version. Not a problem. And you can make an Oculus Quest, which is a VR version, VR headset. So, that'd be our long-term dream. We've got 13 days to go. So, why not dream big? The future's too important not to at least try. And just looking at these pledges, there's a whole range. They start at $7. And then you got $15. Titokos, that pledge is called $20. Harangi ora. Oh, I'm going to get caught up on some of these names. $30. Ko tukutuku. And then $50. Tikoka. That's a teacher's package. And then we have a merch package for $50. Now, $50 is when donors get a tree planted in real life, thanks to you wonderful people. So any donations over $50 or more gets a tree planted. And as we get further up into, we have some $1,000 ones, you get 20 trees planted. I think once you're over 1,000, you get 20 trees through you guys planted. So there's some really a variety of packages there, depending what level people want to support. You can see there the $1,000 one, and it has 20 native trees planted, thanks to Trees That Count. Plus there's a whole range of other added features just to hopefully get the donations in so that we can build the amazing game that we'd want to do. And thankfully to you guys, and it's a huge thank you, is that you guys also, if anyone donates to us and they do it as an organization or they donate as a business or a charity, that you guys will help set up a funder board for them. And then the amount of trees that get planted will get associated with that. So they'll get their own login page, just like we did if they're an organization. So anyone out there, if your organization wants to donate $1,000 or something, not only will you be planting quite a few trees, you get to choose where they are. I think it's about 14. I was trying to count them up. You're right. There's a lot of areas across New Zealand you can choose. But you'll also get your own page, your own account that you can look at and also share. I think this is an amazing tool to give back and show to your customers or whoever you might be that you're, trying to make your difference, whether you're trying to be carbon zero or something. Is that what it's called when a business is trying to the carbon footprint? And so you could, even Z here, they've been doing their bit and contributing a bit over the years, and they've got their own little page and things like that. So that's just some other wonderful features that Trees That Count has brought to this Hyperlife Kickstarter campaign that we're trying to achieve. And we got the photo there, when gaming meets nature. We started, we've got some phrases around game lovers join forces with tree lovers. Watch out, you know, and that's what's happening. And yourselves and Owen is that connection between us. I mean, we're gamers and game developers. That's our world. And then your guys' world is that. And by us joining together, you guys can inform us how to make the game, and vice versa. The better and bigger we make the game through this funding, we can help you guys out and plant a few more. But yeah.
I love the way that you're investing, you know, in planting trees right now, but then investing, like you say, in the future with this game. These kids that are learning it are going to take that forward into the future. So yeah, across all spectrums, that the investment is being made when people are donating.
Well, that was it. It was just weird when we were talking about, when we were first setting this up, we're going to ask people to donate money to create trees in a virtual world because we're all about nature. And then I think it was pretty quick. We were like, that'd be weird if we're not going to actually plant some trees in the real world. We're going to have to find a way to do that. So yeah, we weren't going to go ahead without having to be able to do both. But hopefully the game will inspire some of these young ones, and they might just go out the backyard. They might hound mum and dad and say, can we go, what if they hound them and they go, can we go to the garden shop and buy a titoko tree, please, mum? I want to plant it out back. Who knows how easy they are to get at that, but just to have that conversation, and hopefully our game could just trigger that, those conversations to be had. And as you can see here, these are just some early mock-ups, prototypes that we've done. We have done some other games, but they didn't quite have all this sort of forestry, and that's where the help comes in. But these photos on the side is just to show people out there that we've got the team. We've got amazing 3D modelers in that. They're all based here in New Zealand, and some of them wider as well, that we can make this game. We've got the skills, the ability, and so here's a couple of native trees. Here you go. I test you now. Do you know what that native tree is?
Oh, it's pretty hard to tell. I can't see the leaves. I want to say Pahudakawa when I first see it, but
I wouldn't know, to be honest. I wouldn't know. I need to learn myself. And that one's got yellow flowers. I'm not sure.
Coffee, yellow flowers, but yeah.
Might be. So I think there's about, do you know how, I saw somewhere there was about 32 native trees. I don't know if there's more in New Zealand now. Maybe quite a few are extinct now. I'm not sure if there's more or less.
Many more than that. Yeah, hundreds and hundreds of species of native trees.
Oh, right. I don't know where or why I would have thought of 32, but
maybe those are the main big ones.
Yeah, maybe that's what they were referring to. And we started just making a few of the trees that we can. I think we've made about 4 or 5, but there's a lot more to go, and that's where hopefully the sort of funding in this game can go ahead. You can see here's a whole beautiful landscape, but there's no trees yet. We need to plant some virtual trees, and that's one of the gameplay. The main purpose in the learning in the game for the players is they start like this, and their job over a number of levels and quests and weeks and months is to create an amazing environment through here. And then if they're better, they do that, the more birds they get and the more points they get and all that. So you can gamify anything, and same with here, is quite barren, and just trying to make it a lush forest area. But great. Well, thank you for that. Is there any last thoughts to share? Or
I was just, when you were talking before, just thinking the power of those kids maybe learning the different trees, what trees belong where in the environment, even just going out into their garden at home and saying, oh, I learned these species in this game, I'm going to see if we've got any in our garden. Hey, we don't have any. Hey, mum and dad, can we buy a couple that maybe we're on a farm and we have some streams, and we can restore the water quality by planting some trees here. So powerful, that shared knowledge that they will be gaining.
And we know they will. My kids, anything at school happens, they want to, we need to go do this. We learned it today. We need to go buy this, do this, something. So you're right. I hadn't thought to that level, and definitely part of the game, early design that we've got there for the learning resources, that they have to go outside and take a photo of a leaf and identify it correctly and upload it to the game, and you get rewards and points. So actually the game itself can force them outside, but vice versa, like you say, when they're walking along now, they can look at leaves and trees and go, oh, yep, I know that. And I know that, and I know that. And I've got a funny story. I think he's coming on tomorrow. Deep, he's my Indian 3D modeler. We've got a few of them. So he's been tasked, and he's made about 7 New Zealand native trees. And when I walk around the streets now, he goes, Cam, you know what that one is? do you know what that one is? I said, no, I don't. He knows them all now, only because he studied them and created the leaves in a 3D sense. But it still looks real in the real world, and he can tell them apart now. So if it's working for him, it could, yeah, kids will love it. And yeah, having that tie-in. So it'll definitely achieve that, and it'll be interesting, you know, see how many parents come back. Hey, we have to go buy a whole bunch of trees now because of you guys. Awesome. You go, good. That's the feedback.
Yeah, and then those parents get inspired too. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thank you, Steph. You enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming on. And everyone out there, please share or donate our links. Just the more we get the awareness out there, the more this important game can be made, and also these trees can be planted at the same time. So awesome. Ka kite.